Hi, I'm here today to talk to you about your cognitive load. During this video, I'm going to talk to you about what your cognitive load is, why it matters, how it affects you, and how you can reduce your cognitive load in order to use your brain power more wisely. So, your load of cognition is literally the amount of cognitive energy that you can exert each day. When we say that we have a limited amount of brain power, we actually have a limited amount of brain power. Thoughts require energy, they require caloric energy. You cannot exert more than you have available to you. So, an example of your cognitive load when it comes to teaching, I taught reading for 10 years. And so, when I want to reduce the cognitive load, when I want to reduce the cognitive load for my kids, I would give them easier texts to read. When a child is trying to read, if they're spending all of their brain power trying to sound out what a word says, then they're not able to use their brain power to retain the information that's in the text. They're spending more of their brain power trying to navigate the text than they are actually understanding what's in the text. So when it comes to your divorce, when your cognitive load is so high already because you have so much on your plate and you're trying to navigate all of this new stuff, it doesn't make room for everything that you already have going on or everything that you're trying to plan for the future. Your cognitive load is just too exerted. There's too much going on, and you need to work on reducing your cognitive load in order to lower your stress, reduce burnout, be able to make sound decisions. Your cognitive load matters during your divorce because you want to make sure that you're using the available cognition that you have towards planning for your future instead of trying to navigate what this legal jargon means or living in the past trying to punish your ex or your situation for whatever happened then right now. Again, it's not allowing you to plan for your future. You have a limited amount of brain space, and instead of spending it wisely to secure the dream life that you've always wanted, you're using it on things that either you cannot change or you could get help with. Your cognitive load affects your decision making skills and also your ability to retain information and transfer it from your short term to your working term to your long term memory. A lot of the times you'll notice that when you're going through traumatic events in your life, you don't really retain a lot of what's going on around you memory because you're in survival mode. Your brain is trying to keep you alive instead of retain memories from what's going on around you. So during your divorce, you want to make sure that you keep your cognitive load as low as possible so that you're making decisions that are going to benefit your future, not take away from your future. If you're making decisions from emotion or a state of exhaustion, they're probably not going to be your best decisions. And either you're going to have to live with them or you're going to have to pay to fix them and then spend more of your cognitive load trying to figure it out, how you can fix it, what went wrong, who can help you. So, your cognitive load really affects your decision making skills and your ability to retain information in your long term memory. So, I also want to take some time to note how it affects us spiritually. I have a lot of, academic knowledge about your content, your cognitive load, but I want to really touch base on how it affects your spiritual being. On my Instagram, you notice that I'm always talking about vibing high and making sure that our vibrations that we're putting out into the world are high. So when your cognitive load is overworked, stressed out, burning out, exhausted, the emotional, the frequency of energy that you're putting out into the world are low vibrations. When you're worried, when you're stressed, when you're overanalyzing, those are all low vibrations, okay? When you put out low vibrations, you're going to get back low vibrations. You want to reduce your cognitive load to help ease the stress that it's sending out and also receiving, so that you can emit high, calm vibrations so that you get back high, calm vibrations. What goes around comes around. So if you're sending out, high level love, gratitude, understanding vibrations, then those are the same vibrations that you're going to get back to you. So there are a variety of ways that you can work on reducing your cognitive load over time. But I want to preface by saying that the best way to do this is just slow, frequent, repetitive opportunities to practice pausing and actively yourself lowering your cognitive load. What this looks like is when you notice that you're starting to send out low vibrations, you're worried, you're stressed, you're anxious, you can't think straight, take breath, pause, stop whatever you're doing, and start implementing a few practices that you set in place for yourself that will ease your mind, okay? Maybe this is meditation. Maybe this is yoga. Maybe this is going for a walk. Maybe this is journaling. Maybe it's coloring. Maybe it's listening to music or dancing or sitting. Whatever it is, you need to bring your brain back to baseline so your working memory is working correctly, okay? Other things that can help reduce your cognitive load: planning in advance. If you know that you have a divorce task coming up and it's kind of been eating away at you, plan ahead for a quiet space that's not going to be distracting, that you can focus all of your working memory on finishing that divorce task. It's not a good idea to attempt multitasking, which is not even a real thing. It's not a good idea to attempt task switching during, a financial document, or when you're saving bank statements, or when you're organizing written correspondence. It's also not a good idea to try to do all of those things at once. It's a good idea to set up a schedule for yourself and work on financials during this time block, correspondence during this time block, whatever during this time block. That will also allow you to maintain high vibrations when you're working on those. So if you're working on finances and you're only focused on finances, then the energy vibrations that you're sending out are going to be higher. So I wonder what kind of money-related energy vibrations will be returned to you. Okay, so just to review, your cognitive load is the amount of working memory that your brain has at any given moment, which is only a limited amount, okay? That matters because when you're trying to make decisions or plan for the future or navigate your divorce or your life, you can't do so if you're constantly spending your brain power on things that aren't even yours to worry about. It affects your decision making. It affects your ability to transfer information from short-term to working to long-term memory. If you want to retain memories for important things that are happening, then you need to go into those with a reduced cognitive load where you're emitting high vibrations instead of an overworked, stressed out one where you're emitting low vibrations, because your brain's not going to retain that information, and then it's certainly not going to transfer it to long-term memory. To reduce your cognitive load, work on slowing yourself down, but also work on routines and procedures. What can you plan for in advance? What can you delegate? What can you get help from? As always, thank you so much. Happy divorcing, vibe high, and let me know if you have any questions.